Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever, wherever you are watching this. My name is Marcus Octavius, and you are in the Foxxhole. Now, you're probably sitting there wondering to yourself, Marcus, why are you dressed like that? Well, don't I dress like this all the time? No, I don't. Believe it or not. It is for a very specific reason and for a very specific band, which is making a somewhat, how shall we say, world premiere, kinda, sorta, but not exactly on the Foxhole playlist. But I will get to that in a second. The usual rigmarole is going down. I am still working on the new intro. I know I've been saying that for weeks, but I wanted to get it right for you guys. I'm also working on a couple of other videos, and I am working on a possible another shore leave weekend, like I did before. For those of you who don't know, the shore leave weekends are when I do videos back to back to back. A very specialized playlist, a sort of special operations playlist, and what those are playlists that are geared more towards mainstream music, but it's a specific genre or a specific time period or a specific theme. Then there's a usual Saturday night, and what that usually consists is what I like to call a shore leave after dark, and that is mostly dance music, industrial, goth, even some techno, some trance, dance music, things of that nature. And then Sunday is usually followed up with some sort of instructional video, or I give my opinion on a certain thing. So one of those is in the works. It's probably going to happen sometime later on this month, either late October or sometime in the middle of September. But that is still in the works. So, just to let you know, I am still working on everything, including, like I said, the new intro, more instructional videos, and trying to come up with more content for you guys. So far, all of you have been very receptive to what I've been doing. I had one person tell me that as far as the playlist itself was concerned, and this is sort of a paraphrase, I had reminded them of music that they had lost and introduced them to music that they didn't know existed, which is right on target with what I wanted to do. So thank you very much. If you feel that way, or if you just like the list in general, please like, share, subscribe. All the links are down below, of course. Now, to the reason you're here. Let's get to the music. Peter Gabriel, Silver Sun Pickups, Janelle Monáe, Suzanne Vega, and The Midnight all jump back into the Foxhole. Along with three other introducers. I believe all three of these are brand new to the Foxhole. They've never been discussed or never been highlighted. One of them will be a very familiar name, and that is Thomas Dolby, the new wave Londoner who hit it pretty big in the early 80s with his hit He Blinded Me with Science. 5 albums to his credit, 3 EPs, 3 live albums. Something that I found very interesting in those lean years in the mid to late 80s and up to sort of today, he kept himself very busy doing video game and movie scores. He contributed songs to Fern Gully, The Last Rainforest, and even contributed some work to video games, the highlight of which was Metal Gear Solid 5. Something else I did not know is that he was the musical director for TED Talks for quite some time, serving mostly on the West Coast type editions of it. But he also did a tech startup, and he was a professor at Johns Hopkins University. So very versatile man, very intelligent man. More than just a one-hit wonder, obviously. But Thomas Dolby jumping into the Foxhole. Another person that some of you may recognize, but you don't really recognize them, is the New Zealander pop, R&B, and indie rocker Kimbra. 3 albums to her credit. She has multiple TV appearances, including Sesame Street. But a lot of you will probably know her as the co-lead singer of Gaultier's big hit, Somebody That I Used to Know. She was the brunette who was painted, and there's no other way to put it, she was naked. Fantastic voice. She was always somebody that fascinated me as an artist. Never really made it big over here, mainstream-wise, as far as Gaultier was concerned. Or Gaultier's level, I should say. Making Mirrors was a great album. I heard it front to back. Somebody That I Used to Know is actually not my favorite song off of that. But I thought that, she was very worthy, and I found her music to be very interesting. So, there you have it. Kimbra also jumps into the Foxhole. For my senior officer this week, I decided to do something a little different. And I did a little digging. Now, of course, as you know, the senior officer is an early influencer of alternative music from the 60s and 70s. And I went with another quote-unquote one-hit wonder, and that's the band Shocking Blue out of The Hague. Psychedelic rock mainstays. They were considered a member of the nerd beat movement, which is a Dutch rock boom of the 60s to sort of go along with the British invasion, also around the same time. Another band that is also considered a one-hit wonder is the band Golden Earring, who you may know from the 80s hit Twilight Zone. So they were produced out of this Dutch rock boom of the 60s, as they call it. But one of the bigger hits they've had is Venus, the original version, and that's what's in the Foxxhole this week. They have 11 albums to their credit between 67 and 74. Not a lot of information I could find on the band. However, the lead singer, Marika Verriers, and I hope I'm pronouncing that right, did have a solo career, mostly in jazz standards and, jazz covers. She did die in 2006 from cancer of the gallbladder, and she was living in the Netherlands at the time. So your senior officer this week, Shocking Blue, doing Venus. And this is an actual promo video from the 60s, if everything looks correct. You know, nowadays you can almost create anything with digital effects. And the reason I'm dressed this week is for another band that I wanted to highlight. They've been featured on the list before, but they just had their brand new music video released yesterday. Yesterday, August the 7th. And that's Valentine Wolfe. They've been together for quite some time. They are a chamber metal duo, if you can believe it, of Braxton Ballou and Sarah Black. They are well known on most of the sci-fi con circuit. They've also worked a number of gothic type festivals and things of that nature. They've also do a number of contributing factors. Interesting fact about Braxton Ballou, he works for the local orchestra here in Greenville, South Carolina, the Greenville Symphony Orchestra. A very talented duo, lovely group. This is sort of a pseudo debut. The video came out yesterday, but I am debuting it for you guys on my particular show today. So, ta-da, that's the reason I'm dressed like this. I know them personally. I've even had a chance to perform with them on a couple of occasions. Lovely people, very much. If you like bands like Nightwish and that sort of symphonic metal, you'll appreciate Valentine Wolfe a little bit. So there you have it, a brand new debut song from Valentine Wolfe. Shocking Blue is our senior officer of the week. Thomas Dolby, Canberra highlighted artist. Please like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Facebook, Twitter, and my email are down below. My name is Marcus Octavius, and don't you like the new background?